army. And he sounded extremely frightened and wasn't sure what was going to happen to him. I think the fear arises also from the fact that in the past, the Lashkar terrorists who've come in are trained to kill themselves. They don't hand themselves over alive, but this was a very fortunate thing for India that Navid was captured alive, and now we have a confirmation from the father.
Do we have a recording of that conversation, Harinder, that you had, the minute and 20 conversation?
Rajdeep, I have a record of whatever we have put out in the public domain. I'm sure you've read the story on the Hindustan Times website.
The reason I'm asking you that is Pakistan remaining in denial at the moment, denying that Navid is a Pakistani citizen. Your sense from what you heard from the father, was he sounding extremely frightened?
Yes, he was sounding extremely frightened. And what more evidence do you need? There's Navid himself who's giving his address in Faisalabad in Pakistan. He's providing the number of his father. I call that number, and it turns out that I'm indeed speaking to the father of Navid. So, it's very difficult, I think, for Pakistan to continue being in denial.
And one more question, when your number rang and you said you were speaking from India, did that seem to even frighten him even more?
Maybe it did, because he said you're calling from India, and I'm scared that we might be killed. It's a difficult moment for Pakistan, as you appreciate, because the evidence is piling up, and we have the NSA level dialogue coming up in a couple of weeks from now.
Okay. Harinder Baweja, I appreciate your joining us, telling us details of that conversation that you had with Navid's father. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Meanwhile, India Today is the first channel to have reached the street in Faisalabad where we believe that Navid resides. Remember, Faisalabad is the city that terrorist Navid claims he hails from. Our correspondent Hamza Amir travelled to Ghulam Mohammadabad in Faisalabad. He tells you what he saw.
Where I'm standing right now is the center point, the center roundabout, which actually defines Ghulam Mohammadabad. Also, I've been speaking to a few and seeing a few mosques over here, and people are reluctant to actually proclaim them to be owned by Jamaat-ul-Dawa, but that is a fact. And it has been also learned from local sources in Faisalabad and in Ghulam Mohammadabad that there are over 20 to 25 different religious schools run, governed and funded by Jamaat-ul-Dawa. Jamaat-ul-Dawa has also got a very, very strong presence in Faisalabad, not only in Faisalabad, primarily in Ghulam Mohammadabad. And during the month of Ramadan that just recently passed by, they were over here in a very heavy contingency. Also, in their religious mosque, it has also been learned that during the last 10 days of Ramadan, when people over here, especially the youth, in thousands, floods those mosques, stays there days and night for prayers, and during that time, when one of those people or many of those people are offered recruitments, training, and also terror training in the name of jihad, as they call it. It ranges from 1 day, 3 day, 1 week, 3 weeks to 3 months, and depending on the time of training, those people are then directed towards Kashmir or other areas to penetrate into India. This reveals the fact that this area not only is a very safe haven for terror activities of Lashkar-e-Taiba, which under the name of Jamaat-ul-Dawa. Hafiz Saeed is a frequent traveller over here. He comes and talks to a lot of people, and yet trains them, regarding the anti-India sentiment that is actually, being brainwashed into the people of youth. That is why when Muhammad Naveed reveals that he's somewhere between the age of 16 and 22, it does become very eminent that, he was one of those recruits who were taken out from these areas, taken and trained for months and then sent off to India to conduct this terror activity.
Okay, Hamza is at that street where we believe Navid resides, but Pakistan still remains in denial over the antecedents of the captured terrorists. Its Foreign Office today said it expects information first to be shared by India on the terrorist.
We have also seen media reports, and I will not offer any comment on that basis. We expect the Indian authorities to share information with us on the claims that are being made in media.
Okay, let me go straight across to Pakistan. Sultan Hali, defense analyst, joins me. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Hali. I have with me at the moment the exact address of where we believe Naved resides. Muhammad Naved, son of Muhammad Yaqub, to whom one of our leading newspapers has spoken to, village Ghulam Muhammadabad, Khoiwala, Rafiq Colony, Gully number 3, Faisalabad, Pakistan. Now with this address, with the fact that there has been a phone conversation that we've had with Pakistan, can Pakistan, sir, still live in denial?
Well, thank you so much for having me on your show, and I've been listening to the conversation, I've been listening to the sleuth work which your reporters and your correspondents have carried out. Well, in the prima facie, yes, it is extremely difficult to deny what you are saying. But then there always has to be a confirmation, because earlier the National Data Registration Authority had said that they don't have any record of the existence of such a person as a citizen of Pakistan. But if you claim that your, listen to me please, if your correspondents have reached this particular address, okay, I don't have any reason to disbelieve you. I cannot call you a liar. In fact, I appreciate that you're going to so much pains. But you see, I would rather wait for an official confirmation from the sources, the authorities.
Mr. Hali, I'm sorry to intervene. I'm sorry to intervene. As we've seen, there's not been an official confirmation of Kasab, of Ajmal Kasab. It required a Pakistani channel, Geo TV, to go and expose it. Even then, there was no official confirmation that Kasab was a Pakistani citizen. Till we've had a few days ago, one of your FIA heads, Tahir Khosa, confirming exactly what we've been saying for years, that Kasab was part of a Pak-based terror plot. Now, here again, how do I get official confirmation? Because your country, with due respect, sir, remains in denial.
Okay, what you're talking about makes sense, and I read the article by Mr. Tariq Khosa. I've been on a number of your other channels talking about the same, and Tariq Khosa's efforts are to be appreciated. But please remember that a number of years have gone by, and in this I am hoping that both India and Pakistan have learned lessons, and we will no longer be in a state of denial, but together we will try and resolve the problem of terrorism. And if this particular person, Nadeem, as you say, is a Pakistani citizen, then I'm sure you see the truth. And
but so far Pakistan has refused to accept it. So far Pakistan, the Foreign Office, is maintaining its denial. They want proof. Now, what greater proof? We've seen it in Kasab's case as well.
Look,
I mean, our Indian journalists to provide the proof.
Pakistan Foreign Office talking about it 6 hours earlier. The evidence which you are presenting, I have just heard only a few minutes back. So it does take time. Please give them the benefit of doubt. Let them also get their act together. I hope that if there is truth in what your correspondents have dug up, I don't see any reason for continuing in a state of denial.
You don't see any reason for India, for Pakistan to continue in a state of denial. Okay, we'll take your word for that at the moment, but the fact is, at the moment, Islamabad is maintaining the denial over the nationality of Naved. India, though, says it will continue to expose Naved's links to the country. Minister of State for Home Affairs, Kiran Rijiju, in fact, has gone as far as saying that the terrorist testimony will be presented before the United Nations. Listen in.
You've got Naved, he's being interrogated constantly. Tell us, how big an accomplishment do you think this is for India's security establishment to be able to catch a Pakistani terrorist alive? And what does the government intend to do with him, Mr. Rijiju?
I must tell you that catching a terrorist alive will be the beginning of, finding out the leads, because we have evidence which is alive. And this will give us so much of strength, even to the level of going to the international forum like United Nations, where India's case will be very strongly portrayed, and the Pakistan who has been indulging in this kind of act of terror against India's interests will be totally exposed. We are very sad the way Pakistan is acting and the way they are living in a denial mode. And we are not very surprised also, because what they have been doing throughout the years, which is upsetting us. On the one way, Pakistan says that they are also victim of terrorism. On the other hand, they have not been very honest in the war against terror.
Okay, let's go straight across to Smita Sharma, who tracks the Ministry of External Affairs. Smita, we are getting those flashes, of course, of what Pakistan is saying, and I want to come back to those flashes where Pakistan says it's in denial, but we have got, and at least an Indian newspaper is claiming they've tracked Naved's father on the phone. Now, how is India seeing this? If Pakistan remains in denial, are we going to produce this evidence first before the national security at the NSA meet, or are we going to provide this evidence, as Mr. Rejuju seemed to claim, to an international forum?
Both really, Rajdeep, because this mass heads in the sand burial syndrome that Pakistan is displaying is not for the first time. We've seen it in previous instances too, and had foreign nationals, especially American nationals, not been killed in Mumbai attacks, perhaps whatever investigations were carried out on the Pakistani side would not have happened. It only happened because of international pressure. So while the NSA dialogue, New Delhi believes that, it will provide that opportunity for India to show to the Western powers that, look, we are engaging with Pakistan, providing them evidence that they need, and it's up to them to act. But on UNGA, we will be expecting a different tone and tenor. Remember, it was a debut speech that Narendra Modi had made last September in New York. Right. There was only a fleeting reference of Pakistan. It was more in a humanitarian term, in terms of trying to address poverty issues or trying to reach out to Pakistan to help during floods that were affecting the country at that point. This time around, of course, when Sartaj Aziz, as and when he travels to India, we'll see a lot of blame game happening from their side, trying to raise involvement of raw, those allegations. But at the same time, India will be providing evidence on Gurdaspur, on Udhampur, and raising it on the international platform, where otherwise Pakistan has regularly been raising the Kashmir bogey year after year. Okay, Smita Sharma telling us that India does intend to raise the Naved issue in a major way, possibly even when the Prime Minister travels and delivers a speech at the UNGA. We'll wait and see what happens when he does that next month. But the real headline of yesterday, and indeed today in a sense, is the extraordinary and exemplary courage shown by two ordinary Indian citizens from Udhampur's Chirdi village. They not only put their lives at risk, but perhaps averted a bigger tragedy by apprehending the lone surviving terrorist Naved. Managing editor Rahul Kawal travelled to Udhampur and spoke to the heroes of this entire episode. Listen in.
It's a 3-kilometer trek to Udhampur's Chirdi village. This is where the only surviving terrorist from Wednesday's encounter was first spotted and nabbed by two courageous locals.
From the national highway where the encounter took place, we've now come up to Chirdi village. This is about 3 kilometers up from where this encounter took place, and we've got over here the two Indian heroes. These are blue-blooded, real Indian heroes, and this is Rakesh, this is Vikramjit, and these are people India is proud of. तो ये बताएं कि आप खड़े हुए थे इसी तरीके से अपने घर के बाहर, किस तरीके से आपको पता चला कि एक आतंकवादी आपकी तरफ आ रहा है?
सर ऐसे दिखाई दिया, उसमें गन हाथ में पकड़ी थी, तो मैंने सोचा कि ये अपना आर्मी वाला होगा। जब उसकी जूतों तक देखा मैंने, माँ ये जूतों वो नहीं है, ये कोई लगता दूसरा ही है। तब उसने मेरे को इशारा मार दिया उसने कि इधर आ। मैं गया उसके पास, गन रखी उसने मेरे पास, चल मेरे साथ, वहाँ कहाँ जाना है, चल मेरे को रास्ता बता। मैं चल, तो मैं मारेगा तो नहीं, क्या नहीं मारूंगा मैं। चलते गए, आगे मेरे 3.5 साल छोटे ये मिल गए मेरे को।
तो पहले आप लोगों ने यहाँ पर उनसे बातचीत की, फिर आप लोग उसको ले गए जंगल की तरफ। So first, both of them met with this terrorist right outside their house in Chirdi village. Then they went, and आप हमारे साथ चलिए, then they went towards the jungle, and that's where we'll walk to next to show you how these two young boys, without any weapons, and these are not members of any village defense committee, these are regular young boys, how they were able to overcome this terrorist who was armed with a Kalashnikov. Let's now go towards the second side where the terrorist Usman took these two young boys to. Chaliye.
Vikramjit and Rakesh then took Navid through the dense forest, all the time remaining alert and strategizing moves to get him captured.
अच्छा, तो सर ये बताएं कि आप अपने गांव से कितना दूर गए जहां पर आतंकवादी आपको लेके गया इस रास्ते?
करीब 3.5 किलोमीटर ऊपर।
3.5 किलोमीटर।
जी सर।
तो क्या कह रहा था इस दौरान जब आप लोग चल रहे थे जंगल में, आतंकवादी आपसे क्या कह रहा था?
क्या चलते चलो, मेरे को कोई अच्छी जगह, सेफ जगह पहुंचा दो मेरे को, फिर आपको छोड़ने के लिए कुछ बोल नहीं रहा था। ऐसे कर रहा था, तेरे को कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा मैं, वैसे धमकी हमको सुबह दे रहा था। किसी को बोला कुछ तो पूरे फैमिली को खत्म कर देंगे, वो ये सब कुछ बोल रहा था। धमकी पूरी बराबर दे रहा था।
किस तरह की धमकी दे रहा था आपको?
सर बोल रहा था कि आपकी फैमिली को, जो आपके घर वालों के गले काट दूंगा, जो ऐसे करूंगा अगर आपने किसी को बताया तो। सर
हाँ, नहीं तो आपको लगा कि एक ट्रेंड खतरनाक आतंकवादी है, या आपको लगा छोटा सा बच्चा बंदूक पकड़?
ना सर, है ट्रेन था वो।
हाँ,
फुल ट्रेन था।
फुल ट्रेन था?
यस सर।
What Usman was looking for was a place where he could be away from the eyes of the approaching security personnel. So what Vikramjit did was to bring him to a tree very similar like this, and by now the terrorist was tired and he was asking for food. तो चाहता, काफी थक गया था उस्मान, तब तक खाना चाहता था।
थका हुआ सर जी, वो थका हुआ था, उसको होश में थोड़ा घबराया भी हुआ था कि मैं क्या करूँ, अब तो मरने का दिन आ ही गया।
आप लोगों ने तय किया कि इसको पकड़ना है?
जी हाँ, हमने इसको बिल्कुल तैयार करके रखा था कि इसको पकड़ के छोड़ना है, इसको ऐसे नहीं छोड़ना। अगर इसको ऐसे छोड़ दिया तो हमको नहीं छोड़ेगा जी, हमको मार देगा और बाद में सर भागेगा और भी कहीं सर किसी को मारेगा या कोई और ऐसे।
उस टाइम आपको डर नहीं लगा कि ये तो क्लैशनिकोव?
सर 1000 लोगों की जान हमने बचा ली है, क्योंकि ऊपर भी गाँव है नीचे भी गाँव है। हमें छोड़ देते इसको तो इसने खत्म करना था। इसका मिशन ही ये था जो खत्म करने आया। खून चाहिए तो खून मांगेगा।
तो इसने खाना खा लिया, फिर ये कह रहा था कि और आगे कहीं चलो, आपने बोला कि नहीं यहीं पे?
हमने बोला नहीं, ये हमारे साहब ने बोला कि ये सेफ जगह है, इधर कुछ नहीं होगा, अब यहाँ बैठे रहो, तो कुछ नहीं होगा। तब ठीक कोई 2-5 मिनट बाद ऊपर से इसने देखी अपनी ब्लड फोर्स आ रही है। देखा तो इसने बोला ब्लड फोर्स आ रही है, अब होगा कुछ। इसने अटैक, वही हम दोनों पे अटैक करने की कोशिश की। इसने उठाई बंदूक उठा ली, AK-47 इसके पास थी, इसने उठाई। तब तक साले साहब से ने इसकी दोनों बाजू पकड़ ली।
आपने बाजू पकड़ी?
जी हाँ, उसको मैंने उसकी बाजू पकड़ के उसको दबा लिया नीचे सर।
आपको डर नहीं लगा कि क्लैशनिकोव?
नहीं सर, उधर डर तो लग रहा है सर, मरना तो शायद सर मैं सोच रहा था कि अगर मैं मर जाऊंगा सर, बाकी वाले तो ऐसे बच जाएंगे सर। पता तो लग जाएगा किसी को कि जंगल में थे वहाँ पे कि मरे हैं सर।
आपने बंदूक, आपने आर्म्स पकड़ी, उसकी बाजू
पकड़ ली थी सर, और इन्होंने उसकी गन नीचे दबा ली सर। तकरीबन कोई आधा-पौना घंटा हमने ऐसे उनके साथ किया डॉक्टर, तब तक आवाजें लगाई गाँव वालों को।
तो आपने बाहें पकड़ ली, आपने बंदूक पकड़ ली, फिर किस तरीके से कोई आया आपकी मदद?
तब तक हम चलाए, बहुत चलाया हमने, क्योंकि पौना घंटे तक चलाते रहे कि जल्दी आओ। हमने पकड़ रखा, फायरिंग मत कर। इन्होंने 4 फायरिंग की है पुलिस वालों ने, हमने इसको रोका कि ना फायरिंग मत करो। फायरिंग रोक दी इन्होंने। फिर आए नीचे, कोई आधे पौने घंटे बाद नीचे आए, तब इसको हमने पकड़ा इसको।
पुलिस वाले आए?
पुलिस वाले आए,
CRPF कौन आए?
पहले पुलिस वाले आए थे, फिर बाद में CRPF वाले भी आए।
पुलिस वाले आए, उन्होंने आपको ले गए?
हाँ, फिर हमने उनको दे दिया पुलिस वालों को।
पुलिस वालों ने आपको थैंक यू कहा कि आपने आतंकवादी को पकड़ा?
हाँ, शाबाशी दी इन्होंने।
नहीं, शाबाशी तो मेरे को लगता है कि पूरा देश इस वक्त आप दोनों को देख रहा है। वाकई में जिस तरीके से आप लोगों ने बहादुरी दिखाई इस आतंकवादी को पकड़ने में, ये कोई छोटी बात नहीं है। देश आपके जज्बे को, आपकी बहादुरी को सलाम करता है। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया विक्रमजीत, आपका भी और आपका भी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया।
The heroes of Udhampur. We'll have more on that at 10 p.m. tonight. But let's turn to the story that is the top political story of the day. 50 days after Lalit Modi's row shook the political landscape in the country, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj gave her most detailed statement, a 14-minute statement in an opposition-less Lok Sabha. The External Affairs Minister denied making any recommendation to the British government to facilitate travel documents to the former IPL chief. She went on to make an emotional statement saying she had not helped Lalit Modi but his cancer-stricken wife on humanitarian grounds. She also appealed to the opposition to not disrupt the House, asking them to prove the allegation they've levelled against her. Listen in to Sushma Swaraj and how the opposition has reacted to her defence of Lalit Modi.
मैंने कभी भी ब्रिटिश सरकार से ललित मोदी को यात्रा दस्तावेज देने की सिफारिश नहीं की। मैंने कभी रिक्वेस्ट नहीं की, कभी रिकमेंडेशन नहीं की। मैं आज यहां चुनौती देकर कहती हूं कि एक कागज, एक पर्ची, एक पुर्जा, एक चिट्ठी, एक ईमेल मेरे पर आरोप लगाने वाले यहां प्रस्तुत कर दें जिसमें मैंने ऐसा कोई भी वाक्य लिखा हो कि ललित मोदी को आप ट्रैवल डॉक्यूमेंट्स दे दीजिए या आपको दे देने चाहिए। मैं कहती हूं अगर मेरी जगह कोई नहीं सोनिया जी होती तो क्या करती? मरने के लिए छोड़ देती। ये इतना बड़ा मानवीय संवेदना का केस है जहां ललित मोदी की मदद नहीं हुई, मदद उस पत्नी की हुई जो भारतीय नागरिक है।
Her statement exposes her more. That it was impropriety, it was misuse of office, there was regular contact, and more than willingness but keenness to help a person wanted by law agencies in India to escape law. And if it was truly for humanitarian grounds, then as I mentioned that within a day or 48 hours, he was seen with his family. We have no objection to that, at a famous resort, and subsequently traveling all over the world from Havana to Venice to Montenegro, and I hope that you will see that what was the humanitarian cause, that is demonstrated through the travel.
Okay, the news that we are getting at the moment is, meanwhile, that sources now are telling us that the former IPL chief who faces a non-bailable warrant, we are told by the Council of the Enforcement Directorate, the big breaking news at the moment is that the agency has decided to go ahead and issue a red corner notice against the former IPL chief within a week. A notice will now be issued against Lalit Modi within a week. The ED will be approaching both the CBI as well as the Interpol. Clearly the Enforcement Directorate therefore has decided to make every attempt to tighten the noose around Lalit Modi. That's the information that we are now getting, that on a day when Sushma Swaraj has come out in strong defense of her, or distanced herself in a way from Lalit Modi and said she is not responsible for him getting the travel document, the ED, which had yesterday got a non-bailable warrant issued against him by a Mumbai court, has now decided to frame a red corner notice. We are being told that the notice will be issued within a week. That's the big breaking news that's coming in on the news today at 9. Joining me now, Sambit Patra of the BJP, Aryama Sundaram, senior lawyer, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, spokesperson of the Congress. All three of them joining me at the moment on that big breaking story at the moment. Sambit Patra, how am I to interpret this? Is your government serious about bringing Lalit Modi back to India? Or is this simply being done to try and douse the fires which have been lit in Parliament? Mr. Patra.
Rajdeep, in fact, to answer your question,
yes,
let me take back to the backdrop of something which is very... Yes, to answer your question, let me take you back to the backdrop of something which is very essential for the audience to know. With me over here is a huge lot of paper, and this is nothing but
Please show it to us.
Which was delivered by the High Court of Delhi on 27th of August 2000. Yes, this is the one, 27th of August 2014. And I just want to read out a small paragraph number 31, as to what the judges had to say about the investigation of Lalit Modi. Now this is the judgment. Coming back to the facts of the present case, that is Lalit Modi case, we find that on basis of the material available on record, the complaint under section 16(3) of FEMA, which was registered on 16/9/2010, has been followed by a show cause notice dated 20/9/2010, which essentially requires the appellant to show cause as to why an inquiry should not be held. Now look what the court says. The matter has not progressed beyond that stage. In fact, nothing has been brought to our notice to indicate that the adjudicating authority has formed any opinion that an inquiry should be held, and that an inquiry has in fact been held. Rajdeep, 2014 August 27, when in fact the passport was given back to Lalit Modi, this is what the High Court had commented about the previous government, because this judgment was reserved during the tenure of UPA itself. We came to power thereafter, and the question is as to why
you did not challenge the judgment. My point is, you did not challenge the judgment of the High Court which granted Lalit Modi his passport back. Now you are suddenly going into overdrive. You're issuing a red corner notice.
Yes, I'm telling you as to why.
Is this because of political pressure?
I'm telling you as to why, Rajdeep. I'm on a strong foot today, so I know as to... No. We did not challenge the court then, only because of the fact that the homework was not ready. Because for the 4 long years, nothing had been collected by the previous government. And without any homework, you don't rush to the higher court. And today, the homework is almost complete. What was there by the previous government? A single notice under FEMA, FEMA is a civil case, remember, it is not a criminal case. No arrest can be made. Was there any kind of judgment by any court of the country which declared Lalit Modi a fugitive? A big no again. We may have been fighting on the television debates, anchors after anchors and spokespersons of Congress as well as BJP may have been declaring Lalit Modi a bhagauda, a fugitive, but did Chidambaram work towards that end? A big no. Nothing was issued to show that Lalit Modi was a fugitive.
You seem to have come in a very aggressive mood.
Only means
you seem to have come in a very aggressive mood. It almost is as if Sushma Swaraj in Parliament has given you the ammunition, and the fact that you've now decided to file a case under the PMLA, Prevention of Money Laundering Act, and possibly a red corner notice that you are telling the country that you are serious about bringing Lalit Modi back.
I'll tell you, Rajdeep,
just a minute.
I'll tell you, Rajdeep.
Let Abhishek Manu Singhvi respond.
Has to be